Well, I'll go back to what I have prepared. That's to setting. The vision of Lagos State is to be Africa's model mega city and global economic and financial hub that is safe, secure, functional, and productive. And of course, our policy thrust is poverty eradication and sustainable growth through infrastructure, renewal, and development. Very tall order for us, because all these things depend on resources. What kind of resources? All manners of resources, human, material, well, you know, money and stuff. I bring His Excellency's highest regards to this gathering. And we know that he has promised to make Lagos work for all, irrespective of age, sex, tribe, or status. He has a profound belief in women's rights and girls' rights in Lagos. And he believes that all the women and girls in Lagos could be more productive and empowered for better life if the right programs and policies are put in place. And this has served as a beacon for my ministry, the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, in promoting and protecting the rights of women and children, socially, economically, and in areas affecting their total well-being. We have looked at all areas. Yesterday, I was reading The Punch. There was this small article, I think it was a half-page article on gender and a law and the female gender. I think it's by Wahab Shitu. I hear he's a lawyer. I asked somebody. And he wrote, you know, beautiful things that I opened my eyes to see. And I said, I'm going to speak with the Attorney General or the Solicitor General. So we have some laws like this. That is what we're supposed to be doing in my ministry. We have to tackle issues that come to us. Mrs. Eshed came to me and talked about the wire thing. The first thing, just as you have said, Madam Kind, was, where are our quick wins? What can we do? We have vocational training. Vocational training is not only about Laswell. We have 20 skill acquisition centers under the ministry in all areas, Ilashe, Egon, Ayobo, everything, everywhere. And of course, in all these centers, because I recently had to do a familiarization, although I haven't completed that, I was kind of impressed. Filled to capacity. Everybody there wanting to be empowered. Filled to capacity. I've actually started writing another, memo to His Excellency that there is room for expansion. And when she came, I said, what can we do? Can we take our skills acquisition there? Can we situate one? Can they come to this one? She said they don't have money for transport. Okay, if we have a short-term one, we can go to them. I called the Women Affairs Director. What can we do? She said, we need. And she said, how much? And that's where we see collaboration. How much? And she said, so. And he said, okay, let's get it going. Let's get that done. We now identified another gap. We have books. We have guides on each vocation. Hat making, bead stringing, all those things. These people can't read. That's a gap. And we said, okay, we will look at those things and say, probably put pictures. We are being practical. It's not about writing and speaking this big English. No, we were being practical, and we are on that as it is. The Ministry of Women Affairs, the government, I should say, is not sitting down and saying, putting our fingers and reacting. We are also being very proactive. I mentioned all those girls coming to you. It is about the orientation of our parents, orientation about the entire populace of Lagos State. But right now, we are under threat in the ministry. What is happening? Some guy came in yesterday or on Wednesday last week and saying he's coming to attack us in the ministry. Why? His daughter ran away from home saying she doesn't want to be married. This is somebody from the north. She said she doesn't want to be married. And we took her into protection, into our custody. She said she wants to go to school. And we called the parents. We intervened, because it is our duty also to intervene in such cases. We did, and we spoke to them, and they said no, she must be married. She said she wants to go to school. Now on Wednesday, we now got that information that the law that marries off their 14-year-old girl is much more than the law of Lagos State. And therefore, they are going to do everything in their power to ensure that we give them their daughter back. We have a right to protect that girl. And that's why Lagos State has this domestic violence and all those domestic violence and child rights law. All those things are in place. They're not just sitting there. We have people. We have a rapid response team, the DSVTR, that is the domestic and sexual violence response team. Immediately they swing to action. They take care of all this. So when we get reports of people, from somebody, violating a woman's right, a girl's right, wherever in the state, whether in Waya, whether in Koi, we must be there. Somebody called us from Lekki and said this and this and this. You see a lot of people do a lot of things to children. We can't just sit there and concentrate efforts to one thing. When it is brought to our attention as government, we move in.
The fact is, from the family is dolls for girls and guns for boys. So, and I hope with awareness, parents, we have to stop all that. From the way we raise our children, when you make your girl feel, you know what, you can't do this, you can't do that, then we start that discrimination from there. And I hope it's one of the things we need to look at. Of course, education. All we're talking about here, education. Without education, we won't be where we are today. And it's important that part of what we're doing is that every girl should go to school. Every boy should go to school, I agree, but the girls are more vulnerable. The cheaper girls today, they are taken because they are girls. They rape them, they marry them off, and they say don't go to school. I've worked with a family of 5 children, where the man has 5 children, and he said he can only send his 3 boys to school. The 2 girls said they will not go to school. Not that, it wasn't about money. We said, well, he said no. I said, well, they love school, because they are going to get married and go away anyway. So we still have issues of societies where they don't want the girls to go to school. No matter how educated we are here, when you go to the rural areas, those are things we still deal with. Because you're a girl, you can go to school. And I think, again, it's something we need to look at. And that still happens in this 21st century in our country, Nigeria. And that is why, on my little part, I have a scholarship scheme. And I didn't limit it to girls, because that would be unfair. It's both girls and boys. But you see, when I look at those children today, I'm proud of what one has been able to do for them. What I did was I invite indigent children, who are just children. We coach them, then we write exams for them. So those who come, the first 10, will give you scholarship. Now the very first one I did, the first 3 were boys. They were triplets from the same family. First, second, third. And they're Igbo, Chukudi, Chukuma, Chinedu. So I was like, what do you now do? I want to do 10, and 3 from one family. So we debated and said, it's okay. That's your luck. Today, Chukudi is graduating as a petroleum engineer from Federal University of Technology in Owerri. The other one is a chemical engineer. The third one is also, I think, an electrical engineer. So from secondary to university, I took them as my babies. So when you see them today, you're so proud that you've done something in their life. So that's what every one of us should, in our own little way. Like somebody said, it doesn't cost you 30,000 naira to send a child to school. And I'm sure you, madam, with what you're doing, you realize that. And we need to reach out more through these NGOs. It's not about government alone. What can we as individuals, and you don't have to be in politics to do it. What can we as individuals do? Professor Fafunwa came up with the project of each one, teach one. If you take just one child, every one of us spend 30,000 to spend one child to school will make a whole lot of difference. But education is key. Without education, we're going nowhere, especially for our girls, because there's still a situation where girls are just not allowed to go to school. And one of the experience I have, again, I have a mentoring scheme, this time only for girls. Because the way you raise a girl, you don't understand what I'm saying now. The challenges we go through as girls, not what they go through as men. So this mentoring is for girls. One of the girls is from the north, as we've heard here today. She's the only girl in her village that is now in university. And to get it done was a big challenge. We had to sort of deceive the parents. They made her marry. They said she was going married, and she got married to her cousin. We're all part of the plan. She married her cousin. They pretended she was married, and then she got into university, but she couldn't study medicine. She studied something in the arts. But you see, until she had done the first year before we went, I had to go with the team to beg the parents that we've done this for your daughter anyway. Aren't you proud of her? Because they wanted to fight us, but we sorted it out. So I mentor many children. I can't remember how many girls I have, but only girls. But you find that when you talk to these girls, it really does have an impact on them. But before I go on, I want to ask, I see some girls at the back, and I'm wondering whether we have girls in this room that have real life stories to share. You said shared? Okay, they've shared. Yeah. The girls here.
We've seen the film.
Okay.
We've seen the film. Yes.
So it's okay.
Yes.
Because I just saw some of these young girls there, and I wondered whether they had.
I don't know if any one of them would like to sing.
Ask them. Ṣé kankan ló yín fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ fún wa? No. Okay, it's okay. One of the other things which I hope has come up here is the issue of rape. No, it's the girls that are raped, not the boys. And
the boys are raped too.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
That's deliberate rape.
No. Or abuse.
No, the boys are abused.
Yes.
The boys are abused.
Yes.
But the issue of rape, I'm talking about rape. That's why our bill of violence against, we started a bill of violence against women, but we changed it to violence against persons. Because men came to us and said, women do, carry out acts of violence against us. But the issue of rape has been so prevalent. I can tell you about 5 girls rape has destroyed. It has destroyed their lives. You have uncles raping 10-year-old girls. Remember the case of the girl in some university in the East. I think that girl killed herself because we could never get her, where 4 men raped her. We could never find her. She killed herself. And when we saw the mother, she said, I don't want to talk because I have 7 girls and I don't want to be in trouble. A girl is raped and we can talk about it. And that's it. You get pregnant, 15, 16, 17, 18, you're done. But the boys keep on anyway. So how the issue of rape is also something, because it destroys your education. And of course at the NTA, we did quite a lot. And we realized that there was a time we worked with the state to get these girls off the streets. The parents of people at the back, they actually beat up our crew. You find that behind these girls on the streets are some people using them to make money. How do you get those people? They actually beat the guys up and they just use the girls, they come up and beg for money when they are waiting to collect the money. Again, that is something we need to look at. It's a criminal offense, according to the Child Rights Act. Lagos, again, is one of the few states that has domesticated the Child Rights Act, and we appreciate Lagos. And then, to my brother lawmaker, we know we're talking about bills. I don't think it's about laws. I think we have enough laws. It's about implementation. We have, in fact, the Child Rights Act takes care of everything about the child. But NGOs, are you helping us to ensure implementation? I think that is also critical. It's criminal for a 10-year-old child to be selling things on the street today. Whoever's behind that should be arrested and jailed. The law is there, but we're not implementing the law. So I want to appeal to NGOs too that that's another way we can help in that regard. Lagos State has done so much in public schools. I mean, you take your child to a public school in Lagos. I think Lagos is still one of the best with public schools in Nigeria. So it's not about public schools and private schools. It's about keeping those children in school. So how do we ensure that is done? I think that was part of why Ms. Eshiet is putting this together. Again, I challenge the NGOs more than I challenge the state government. Because if we all take this as a priority project, I'm sure if you have been able to achieve with over 700, Kind has done so much, by the time it all adds up. And if individually we all do the same thing, I think it all adds up. And we've heard here about the plan, blueprint, our uncle there and everything. Yes, I'm sure Lagos has a plan. Lagos has a blueprint. but we appeal to you to ensure better implementation. I think that's just what I'll say in that regard. I mean, I want to get to a stage where there will be no child out of school in Lagos State in particular. And if that happens, we would have succeeded. And do you think it's possible? Yes. It is very possible. And it can be done. And it can be done through everybody gathered here, from government to private sector, to all of us here. Whether you are in politics, whether you are in private sector, I'm sure we can do it. But I want to see a situation where you see a child on the street, you pick that child up. That's what, madam, are we doing that in Lagos at this point in time?
Yes, I just mentioned that we were called to go to Lekki. We've been for, I think they went last month, and then someone called that we have to go to Lekki, that there's some people.
They're blind, and then she sings to you in traffic. And the voice is so good, but some woman noticed that something was wrong, and she drew her attention. It turned out that they were just using her to, today that girl too, was back in school, courtesy of Lagos State government then. I didn't follow up, but I'm sure she finished her secondary education. So I think ultimately, I'll just round up as the chairperson to just say, well, we all have a role to play. As we have said here, all hands, and all heads, and all legs, and all everything, and all eyes should be on deck. And you know, we're dealing with a crucial sector of our population. You leave your girls behind, you leave your women behind, you leave your society behind. I believe Nigeria is the way it is because women are not actually where we should be. You know, even in Ibadan yesterday, the professor said, who knows, maybe if women ran the whole of Nigeria, would have done better than we are doing today. Akim doesn't agree with me. You know, so you can't clap with one hand. So we need to carry our women along. We need to encourage our women. At the same time, we need to also encourage ourselves. You know, we can't sit back and say, oh, we are not getting it, and then we let it go. So I thank all the NGOs here today. I thank all participants. I hope that by the time we get together again, we'll be talking about results. We'll be talking about achievements. We'll be even talking about statistics, which is, again, what is missing in Nigeria. We don't deal with statistics. I don't know whether we can say this is the percentage of out-of-school girls. And we can now say next year, this is the percentage of those who have been able to get back to school. But even at that, Lagos still has better statistics than many other states in Nigeria. But again, it is Lagos. It's the center of excellence. And to remain the center of excellence, hopefully, by the time we are here together again, we should be saying that we have reduced the number of girls, maybe the number of children out of school, but in particular, the girl child. The girl child is vulnerable. The girl child needs all the support. The girl child must be enabled to achieve her full potentials despite the circumstances of being born a girl. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
It takes just very few people to make a difference. And I think for me, the most important person today who has made the big difference is the person I'm going to thank first. I'm going to thank her because I think she has a date with history. Permanent Secretary Wapa, you are the most important person who has made today happen. We are very grateful to you. None of you is privy to what has transpired before now. And I want to thank you that your little days as protocol does not mean that you will end as a permanent secretary. Somehow you will do better for this nation. And I'm sure that if you keep up with this spirit that you have, this nation will look for you. Now let me begin to thank every other person. First, let me thank the beautiful young people from all the blighted communities who are represented by those 5 beautiful girls. Let me thank the community leaders, whether you have migrated or you are born, you are contributing to the development of Lagos. The 2 ballets that are here, I salute you for living in those communities and for fighting for your people let me recognize Form 1 and Wowican. They have been very quiet. What I know is that those two women together will move all the girls out of the slums. Data have shown that the girls are Christians, they are Muslims. We can't joke with that. Today we know that if Form 1 decides and Wowican decides that all out of school adolescent girls, look, let's emulate the Pope. He has challenged every Catholic church in Europe to take in one refugee family from Syria or anywhere. This is what we need to preach. We are relying on you, man. Thank you for coming at very short notice. I want to thank our friends from the corporate world. Indeed, they are doing a lot. Currently, Coca-Cola is partnering with Mexico, DFID, to run engine project. And I think so far engine has reached over 5,000 girls in all the slum communities of Lagos State because they are working in 3 senatorial zones. We might not have reached the Ikorodu yet, but please take note. Because Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa is here, let us ensure whether they are in Igbobo, you know all those our places, they are still, let us make sure we reach them. But please, we appreciate you, Unilever. Thank you for being there. I must thank immensely all CSOs that are here. And all the CSOs that have worked with us thus far. We have many more, we couldn't, this room can only take a limited number of people. So we had to ensure that we kept some away who had worked with us just to allow the few of you here. So you are representing all the CSOs. We thank you very much.